Every time a YouTuber begs for you to subscribe to their channel, God kills a kitten. Help stop the madness. Tell your favorite YouTubers to stop wasting your time. Today, by popular demand, I will be comparing two very popular GMRS radios, the Wouxun KG-935G and the Wouxun KG-UV9G Pro. And I'm going to simultaneously compare them while not boring anyone to death. The price for the Wouxun KG-935G is $149, and it is available only at buy2aradios.com. Affiliate link below. The KG-UV9G Pro normally costs $209, but is now available for $179 and is available only from bettersaferadio.com. Affiliate link below. Both of these radios are very, very popular and very difficult to get a hold of. If you want to buy either of these radios, affiliate links below. Don't make the rookie mistake that all the noobs make. If the website says out of stock, do not wait until it says in stock. The trick is to pre-order it as soon as the website will allow you to. That way, when the next boatload of radios comes in, you will get yours, while all those other chumps waiting for it to say in stock will still be waiting. And full disclosure, buy2aradios.com did send me this KG-935G, and bettersaferadio.com did send me this KG-UV9G Pro, both in exchange for reviews or to do whatever I want with them. Today, I will be comparing the two. Both of these radios are FCC Part 95E approved radios for GMRS. You do need a GMRS license to transmit on either of these radios. If you just want to listen, no license is required. If you do not yet have your GMRS license, click that link right there for step-by-step instructions on how to buy your GMRS license. So first, I will go over some of the generalities of both radios, and then we'll get down to the nitty-gritty so that you can decide which radio is best for you and your GMRS lifestyle. The KG-935G, heretofore referred to as the 935, is an SoC radio, System on a Chip radio. The KG-UV9G Pro, heretofore referred to as the UV9G or something like that, is a super heterodyne circuitry radio. This means that the UV9G may be more sensitive in receiving than the KG-935G, and this is also why the UV9G costs more than the 935G. I am not able to tell with my human ears any difference in receive quality or transmit quality, anything. I can't tell any difference between the two, but super heterodyne circuitry is better than SoC circuitry. Super heterodyne circuitry costs more. It usually makes a bigger difference when comparing a super heterodyne radio to a cheap, very inexpensive one of the $30 SoC type radios, but the 935G is a very well implemented SoC. It's a very high quality radio, and I think most people would struggle hearing the difference or noticing any received sensitivity differences or any difference at all. Most humans with human ears would not be able to notice a difference. Both of these radios have the same maximum power output, up to 5.5 watts. They both have the same number of FARs. One does not transmit any better or further than the other. As far as how the radios operate, they're pretty much identical. They both have all the main features of any high-quality GMRS radio. And I think these are actually the two highest quality GMRS radios on the market that you can find. So this really is a showdown between the two. So because they both operate as a radio pretty much the same way as far as transmitting and distance and FARs, this comparison will be mostly about the features, because those are the main differences between these two radios. Once you understand the difference in features between these two radios, you will then be able to decide which radio better suits your GMRS lifestyle. I won't be declaring one better than the other. Only you can decide which one will be a better choice for you. So here we have the two radios side by side. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the antennas. This is the stock antenna that came with the 935G. This is the stubby antenna, Smiley stubby antenna. Affiliate link below. I like using this antenna just because it's smaller and doesn't poke me in the eye and is out of the way when I'm doing adventuring. Doesn't work any better or worse. It's just small and stays out of my way. Oh, many people have mentioned my hands and complimented me on their schoolgirl-like appearance. I do try to dig the gunk out from under the fingernails, and I do try to keep them trimmed, and I use oil of Olay. You may notice, though, the one defect, this scar, which is from my failed hand reduction surgery, and that pretty much ended my hand modeling career. Both radios have a 3200 milliamp hour battery. So both batteries last quite a long time. You're going to get at least a day's worth out of listening, if not longer. Of course, the more you transmit, the more that's going to suck the battery sauce out of the batteries. They are both 3200 milliamp hour batteries, but they're not the same. They're different size. They're not interchangeable. However, the KG-935 battery is interchangeable with the KG-905, should you happen to have one of those. They both have pretty much the same controls: volume knob, channel change knob, flashlight, transmit and receive lights. They do have opposite antenna connector types. The KG-935 has an SMA male connector. The UV9G has a female connector. Another difference is that the knobs on the KG-935 are slightly tighter, harder to turn, which is a good thing if you're out adventuring. You can't accidentally turn the knobs as easily. The knobs on the UV9G are a little bit more loose. However, the UV9G has this small guard, which the KG-935 does not have, so that may help a little bit in preventing you from turning the knobs accidentally. The KG-935 has two programmable buttons on the side, in addition to the push-to-talk button. The UV9G has a somewhat smaller, barely smaller push-to-talk button, and has three programmable buttons. On the front, you'll see mostly the same controls. They can all do pretty much the same thing, control-wise. The buttons on the UV9G are slightly, ever so slightly larger than the buttons on the 935G. Both radios have dual receive, so you can listen to and scan on two frequencies at the same time. The screen on the 935G is slightly more square. The screen on the UV9G is more this way. Neither of these two screens does very well in bright sunlight. As you can see, they both get washed out in sunlight quite a bit. The cure to that is to simply hold your hand over them in the sunlight. The 935G has customizable themes. You can see here I have it in dark mode. The screen on the UV9G is not customizable as far as colors. The 935G has an IP66 rating. That means it has total protection from dust and can withstand high pressure water jets. UV9G has an IP55 rating, which means it has limited protection from dust and can withstand only low pressure water spray. So for outdoor use in wet or moist areas, KG-935 has a slightly better rating. Both have a sealed door to cover the where you would put in either your programming cable or an external microphone. That's to maintain the waterproofness and dustproofness that they both have. Both can scan for CTCS and DCS tones. You can program multiple repeaters on the same frequency with different tones on both of these radios. They're both fully programmable either on the keypad or via the software. Both can receive NOAA channels. Both can receive FM commercial radio. The UV9G can also receive AM air bands, which is one reason why preppers or emergency people getting ready for emergencies may prefer this radio. The UV9G is marketed more toward preppers and emergency use. The 935G is marketed more toward people that just want to go out adventuring and have a two-way radio. But you'll see in a minute as I go through more of the specs why preppers and people that want an emergency use radio may prefer one over the other. Both can store up to 999 channels for scanning through, and they both scan about the same speed. Yes, we know these are not scanners. You don't need to leave a comment telling us that these are not scanners, and if we want a scanner, we should buy a scanner. But they can be used for scanning through the channels, and you can see they scan at roughly, to my eye, pretty much the same speed. The 935G can receive commercial FM radio, as well as 136 to 174.9 megahertz, and then 400 to 479.9 megahertz range. The UV9G can receive commercial FM radio, can receive 108 to 136 megahertz airband, 136 to 180 megahertz, 230 to 250 megahertz, 350 to 512 megahertz, and 700 to 960 megahertz. So if you want to listen and scan for things, you can do a lot more. You can receive a lot more using the UV9G than what the 935G is capable of receiving. They both transmit because they're FCC Part 95E approved. They can both only transmit on the GMRS channels. But because the UV9G can receive so many more frequencies and such a wider range of frequencies, that's another reason why a prepper or somebody who wants a radio for emergency use might prefer it over the 935G. People that just want a two-way radio to talk to each other may prefer the 935G. Out of the box, the 935G comes pre-programmed with the 22 standard GMRS channels and the 8 repeater channels. The UV9G comes pre-programmed with the same 22 standard GMRS channels and 8 repeater channels, as well as over 800 pre-programmed channels for scanning and receiving. Federal military frequencies, private business frequencies, the FBI, commercial airlines, NTSB, Air Force, NORAD, Search and Rescue, Coast Guard, Homeland Security, Secret Service, IRS, Federal Emergency Response frequencies, and more. This thing comes jam-packed with pretty much every frequency that you would want for an emergency situation. Now, you could program many of those manually yourself into a 935G, but remember, the UV9G has a much wider receiving range, so you would not be able to get them all on your 935G. And it's also a hassle to do it yourself. And that is it. Very similar, both very good radios. It really comes down to what you want to do with your radio. So which one should you buy? Only you can decide. Affiliate links below.